Welcome back to Alternate Ending, where we are still discovering good movies one bad movie at a time. I am your host for this week, Brennan Klein. We are here to do the September preview for 2025, and with me is a whole host of some of your favorite voices from the Alternate Ending constellation of stars. I'm going to go clockwise from what is looking like on my screen, so let's start with Brian Fowler. How are you doing today, Brian?
I'm good. How you doing, Brennan?
I am doing fine. It is not too hot. I look, people always complain when weather comes up, but weather is the thing that is foremost on my mind. I check my app every day. I tell Ben the dew point. I don't know what it means, but he has to know. Anyway, sorry, you got me talking about the weather app, and by you, I mean me, and I'm going to move on. We also have Caleb Wimble. How are you doing, Caleb?
Hey. I'm pretty good, Brendan, despite the neighborhood construction currently waking me up 2 hours earlier than I would otherwise.
Oh, no.
Just hanging in there through that, just a few more months.
Jesus. Yeah, okay, well, good luck with this. And last but certainly not least is the someone you have just heard on Your Movie Rocks, the podcast that she hosts on this network, and it's Mandy Albert. Hello, how are you doing, Mandy?
Howdy, I'm good. It's very hot, but that's to be expected around here.
Yeah.
And I start teaching again tomorrow, and that's also to be expected.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I guess maybe we should table this conversation, but are you more excited to deal with children again all day for work, or are you more excited for the movies of September 2025?
The thing is, I like the kids.
Yeah.
And that's now on record if any of them have to find this. I don't always like dealing with them, but right now I have August energy when it comes to teaching, so we're good. We'll get to the September lineup of releases, I suppose.
Yeah, we will be talking about that, but first we got to do our movie roundtable. Everyone here has brought a movie to discuss. I believe basically all of us are bringing something contemporary, which is kind of unusual for a slate of AE people. But I'm going to just randomize a little bit. Caleb, what are you bringing to the table today?
All right, well, I struggled to pick a worth mentioning this month because I've seen a lot of fine movies lately, but just nothing that's really excited me as much as I wanted to. Nothing that I have been run away in love with. So I'm talking
AKA
this time
2025. Sorry.
Sure, yeah. I think that's a good general take on the movie slate so far. I did have a few early this year, but I'm guessing this is probably the first of these I've brought that wasn't an old movie in a while. So there's that. This is kind of a pleasant confection, all sugar, nothing but empty calories, but it goes down easily, and I think it's actually a pretty good piece of empty confection, and that is K-Pop Demon Hunters, the story of K-pop superstars Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, who, you guessed it, are also demon hunters. As the band Huntrix, they protect the mortal world from the realm of demons by a sort of spell song barrier called the Honmun, and then they slice demons apart with their swords in nightly Buffy the Vampire Slayer fashion. But wouldn't you know it, one has a big secret. Rumi's dad was a demon, and when a bunch of attractive Reaper demons form a rival K-pop boy band, Huntrix and the rest of South Korea start to fall for them, and the Hanmoon begins to fall as well. It's directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Appelhans, who I was not really familiar with before this, but have worked on a bunch of projects between Netflix, Sony, and DreamWorks that I was familiar with. It's cute, it's quick, it's got some surprisingly fun comic animation in places, which that's always a nice surprise with kids animation in general, whether there's going to be anything interesting to look at with the CG ones these days. These characters have an array of exaggerated anime expressions that they sort of pop into that can be grotesque but in a funny way, and I thought that worked pretty well for the gamut of what they had. And as a musical, I can't say the songs are good necessarily, but they are aggressively earwormy, like unforgettably so. I only saw it the once half a week ago, and I still have Golden and What It Sounds Like stuck in my head. They are tearing up the Billboard Top 100. I think they were number one with Golden last week or whenever.
Yeah, Golden hit number one, if I recall correctly.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. It's immediately songs that you listen to. You're like, okay, they actually did a decent job of these sound like radio K-pop hits, but fit pretty decently into the structure of the musical, what the characters are trying to communicate and what they're going through with their, their big, easy feelings. Caveat emptor on that to the parents are going to be hearing the soundtrack nonstop for the next 2 years. I assume they're in for a world of hell there. But at least the movie's pretty good. It's not like an instant classic or anything, but you can do a lot worse in kids animation, especially on Netflix. I won't mind being forced to watch this again while babysitting nephews and nieces.
It has also been a long time since I saw a movie musical, especially one made recently, that had any earwormy songs. They're usually very generic and forgettable and go away milliseconds after I've heard them. So the very fact that they're still stuck in your head is making me a little bit curious.
Yeah, and see, that's because this was not songs written by Pasek and Paul is the thing.
Oh, right.
I've been really curious about this. I've been circling this. It is, I mean, not because it is the second most watched movie on Netflix of all time, according to Netflix.
Okay.
But
behind what?
What was that?
Behind what?
Behind Red Notice, of course, the movie that has such a lasting cultural memory.
Wait, is that the Christmas one?
No, that's Red One is that
Red
one.
Okay,
but Red
Notice
also stars Dwayne Johnson. It's the one with him and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yes.
It was
I did see that one.
Is a pandemic pickup from like 2022, I think is when it came to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna
that time didn't actually happen.
Yeah,
so...
exactly.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that movie existing.
No, I think this thing, it has absolutely zero cultural footprint. And yeah, so I don't know if
the sequel. Did I see that? I think I saw Red Notice 2 and immediately forgot everything that happened.
No, it doesn't exist. It never happened.
It doesn't exist. Okay. It's just the first one feels like it was already a sequel.
Probably. They have promised one, but that was 2.5 years ago, and nothing has come of it. And listen, do you hear the clamor in the streets? Neither do I. But yeah, sorry, K-Pop Demon Hunters, I had to write an article early on about this like preview image from the movie, and I was kind of like, oh, this looks like just whatever kind of junky CG animated movie, but people have been liking it, and I'm really curious. So yeah, I think I might take the plunge from your review, Caleb. I think that's the straw that broke the camel's back. When will I do it? I don't know, probably 3 years from now, but it's on the list.
I make no great promises, but it's about 97 minutes long or something like that, and it's time that passes very quickly and pleasantly, I would say.
So just to be clear, this has nothing to do with the American Christian metal band, right? Demon Hunter.
Not to my awareness at all.
Okay, just checking. Then I might have been interested in the soundtrack at least.
They are very much Korean mythos and imagery. Like I guess I say the boy band who are the Reaper Demons. They're wearing those sort of like medieval Chinese doctor hats that have become associated with like psychopomps in Korean mythology, and one of them even has like a literal psychopomp bird wearing a cute little version of the hat, same as the swoony leader of the boy band of demons in this thing.
Okay.
And the others are all like the lesser demons have faces that are based on various masks and statues, and there is a demon king, but none of it really feels in any way like little like horns and pitchfork style. It's very much sticking with the Korean aesthetics for everything here, and that doesn't get very deep into any of the culture or religion behind any of that necessarily, but it is pulling from that well in a way that's fairly fresh on some of the designs, I think.
Okay, that's really cool. And it's always nice when Americans get excited about something that even reflects another culture. Even and this one, I believe, does have quite a few Korean people actually behind the camera as well, or behind the scenes. So that's nice. But yes, what else do we got? Mandy, what movie do you want to talk about today?
What movie do I want to talk about?
What movie are you going to talk about today?
Strong start.
So I am going to talk about Together, which is a recent movie.
Wow.
This is a movie by first-time feature film director Michael Shanks, though I understand he has done some short films that I have not seen, but many people seem to like. And this is starring married couple Dave Franco and Alison Brie, who also both scored themselves executive producer credits. And they decided that they wanted to do The Substance, except that in Together, the substance, or not the substance, but the giant latex flesh goo monster is not representative of your desire for empty fame and beauty and youth. It is representative of your toxic relationship. So in this movie, Dave Franco and Alison Brie are an engaged question mark. It's not 100% clear. There's a proposal very early on and it's accepted, but very unenthusiastically, and then not really mentioned again until hijinks ensue. But they're a couple. They're very committed to each other. And Alison Brie's character, Millie, is an elementary school teacher, and Dave Franco's character, Tim, is a loser with no job or employable skills whatsoever.
Isn't he like a drummer or something?
Guitarist, yeah.
I think, yeah, he's a guitarist, but it doesn't sound like he's a terribly good one, because if he were, he might have some kind of regular gig doing guitar stuff at this point.
We get the sense he's had a big downturn, right? Because he had a label and it seemed like he was doing quite well and looked like he was going places, and then proceeded to go down.
Then there was trauma. You
Oh
see.
no!
So
And the trauma. Yes, trauma in a horror movie.
But this
I
is
am
already
shocked.
this is already a capital M metaphor movie. Did we also need trauma on top of that?
Well, it's funny that you should ask, Brennan.
Okay.
Whether we in fact needed trauma on top of that. But in any case, the two of them are in a clearly very devoted but uneasy relationship. They are about to move out to the country in some unspecified state from the city in some unspecified American state, though it looks kind of like generic New York. I don't know what the country is actually played by or where they filmed it. Probably should have looked that up.
I'll look it up.
But in any case, okay, sounds good.
Set in
they
Washington State, but shot in Melbourne, Australia. Shockingly.
Wait, it's set in Washington?
Apparently, yeah. That's supposed to be, I guess that's supposed to be Seattle then they move out from. But I would not have guessed.
At no point do I think it is ever mentioned that they are supposed to live in Washington. It's just
it's being coy, for sure.
the generic city and the generic country, because metaphors work better when they're very generic and universal.
Yeah, I bet wherever that information came from was pulled from like license plates in the movie, because people online love to scope those out.
You are probably right. And whether or not they intended to, well, I guess if they were filming it in Australia, it would have had to be intentional. But that's the only clue that they dropped in as to the location. Anyway, in whatever idyllic countryside location where nobody lives that they have moved to so that Millie can teach in an underserved elementary school, there are some beautiful hiking trails, and one of them contains this cave that into which, while Tim and Millie are out hiking, they fall. And inside the cave is a big pool of water. This is nothing that we wouldn't know from the trailers. And if ever a pool of water was screaming, "Don't touch me, don't drink from me, don't come anywhere near me," it was this pool of water, which is, of course, why Tim decides to drink from it at the earliest opportunity possible, and then share the water with Millie as well. And as it turns out, this is very special water that has very special powers. And these very special powers, among other things, cause Tim and Millie to become much more attracted to each other than they used to be, to the point where they literally cannot keep themselves apart, very literally, and start kind of fusing together over time. So, positives first. There's some, especially in the first act of this movie, there's some really strong horror imagery. There is a dream sequence within the first 15 minutes that is one of the cooler horror movie dream sequences I think that I have seen. Now, the really fun thing is that the dream sequence has almost nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
That makes me so mad, Mandy.
Right?
Yeah.
It made me really mad too, because I was all excited for what was going to come next from the root of this dream sequence and the trauma with a capital T that is causing Dave Franco to have these dreams, and then it turns out that it is only tangentially related to everything else going on. Plot threads in this movie and thematic threads are consistently dropped and either very half-assedly picked back up or never picked back up.
Well, that one comes back in a very literal way. reflective of the thing that happened to his parents returning with another couple later in the film, as we learn.
Indeed, that is true, but I consider that one of the half-assed picking ups
Okay.
of thematic threads, in that you could have cut that from the movie and it wouldn't really have changed very much.
Oh, we do also get at the beginning the Thing homages, right? With the two dogs,
Yes.
which is maybe some of the more effective horror parts.
The thing with the dogs at the beginning was also when I was like, oh my God, this movie's going to be great. And then everything from there on out was kind of a letdown. I desperately need 21st century horror movies to learn to shut the fuck up. Like, I need all 21st century movies to learn to shut the fuck up, but this is especially important for horror movies. Because I also am imposing a rule from here on out, and this is again for all 21st century filmmakers, but it's especially important for horror filmmakers, is that promising debut directors are no longer permitted to direct their own screenplays or their own stories. You need to cut your teeth on work by some old grizzled veteran. And then maybe if you don't screw it up, you will be allowed to direct your own writing. But there's just too much you in a writer-director debut, and they don't know how to control themselves. And since nobody believes in editing anymore, nobody else knows how to control you either. Dave Franco and Alison Brie is noticeably better than Dave Franco throughout most of the movie, in part because she looks terrifying. He looks like himself. I don't know if like she's just lost some weight recently or if she lost weight for this role, but she is kind of alarmingly skinny in the movie and has a rather unflattering haircut that frames her face in a way that makes her already supernaturally large eyes appear even larger. And I will say this, they know how to focus the camera on her face in a way to accentuate all of the things that are currently scary about it.
And the makeup artists are going to town on giving that sunken look. Like
the makeup's great throughout. Like, I'm not even talking about the crazy special effects stuff towards the end. I'm just talking about the basic, these people are upset and exhausted and confused and possibly insane makeup that we have progressing throughout the major plot line. There are also parts of it that are very funny. And in particular, there is the people watching this movie when I saw it in the theater were me and like 7 people over the age of 70, which I gotta say is a really fun audience to watch a body horror movie with. And there was one particular sequence that takes place in an elementary school bathroom, wherein me and all 7 senior citizens were laughing our asses off. I want to believe that they meant this sequence to be funny, but I'm not actually sure, and it upsets me that I'm not sure. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what Michael Shanks does in the future, because I do think that he's got a really good eye for things that are gross, among other things. Like, he's got very sharp instincts for what to show and what not to show. And it was also nice to, see, again, any movie in the 21st century, but a horror movie in particular, where I could kind of see what was going on for most of it.
A blessing.
Because he decided to light scenes as though they are dark, instead of simply relying on it being dark and nobody being able to see anything to create the scary stuff.
Especially that cave that you already called out with the most foreboding water in human history. Like, for one, the set design is clearly like the most H.R. Giger-ass haunted hole that ever was. Like that water hole itself, which is in the trailer, I don't feel like in any way. It looks like an awful veiny orifice emerging up out of the earth. Then you've got the weird the bells and other strange religious iconography. But that the possible dream sequence in the cave where his perception is altering, and it is maybe the darkest scene and set of shots in the movie. I think also it's showing exactly enough, at least in the lighting conditions I watched it in, and is one of the most effective bits of fleshy body horror I've seen this year, I think. And there's a couple scenes that I would put in contention like that. But that might be my favorite in the movie of all the effects work there.
Both of the major scenes that take place in the cave
Mm-hmm.
that are questionably actually happening are really standout moments in the movie. So I'm excited to see what else Michael Shanks does, but I need him to not succumb to Jordan Peele knockoff syndrome, wherein he confuses having something to say with doing good movie.
Yes.
Because I am worried that he is tilting a little bit too far in the direction of the former there. Just anytime people start talking in this movie, it dies. The momentum dies, the scary dies, and the body horror is kind of wimpy. Like, it's not nothing. There are some pretty cool prosthetic effects here, but if you have seen The Substance, it's nothing you haven't seen recently. Like, I don't need every body horror movie to be Society, but given the way that the movie was marketed, I was expecting a little bit more from its body horror.
But it also... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that is disappointing. I mean, I certainly wasn't going to expect it to be at the level of Coralie Farge, who as I've said before, does feel like... she does understand correctly that every aspect of the human experience is disgusting and terrible.
Yes.
But that is disappointing that it seems like it's kind of not reaching that level at all. But
It's too clean.
Yeah.
Like, it's very clean, smooth, plasticky body horror.
And very, very CG heavy compared to The Substance,
Yes.
too. Like, it doesn't feel like practical effects that are smoothed over with CG. It just feels like they did not have a practical effect in the scene, and it was done entirely digitally in a lot of cases. Like, so it doesn't... even though it evokes, like, The Thing a lot, it never has that that sense of revolting, oh my god, what I'm seeing looks like flesh and matter to me that The Thing has.
There are basically, other than creepy water and very occasional blood and tears, there are no fluids in this movie.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And that feels like a big body horror loss.
Yeah, what? That's weird.
And given that they get incredibly gross mileage out of hair, so they understand
They do.
how other parts of the body can be quite revolting.
also, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but couples famously exchange fluids. Like
Right?
certainly many couples do. And if you're doing a body horror thing based on that, okay, we've been chatting a bit long about this one, so I'm going to move on. But I don't know if I'm
I would just
keen
like to
on
say that
Together.
I would just like to say that there's a lot of commentary on Letterboxd, you know, how Letterboxd is, that's like, what is wrong with straight people these days? And I'm sitting here going, don't blame this on me. This is a Dave Franco and Allison Brie need to work some things out
Oh, and
sort of thing going on here.
And I do have to give shout outs to their creepy, what the hell is his deal for a long time neighbor, played by
Yes!
Damon Harriman from Justified.
Damon Harriman, yes.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yes. That, like, I went through like 3 different phases of thinking I knew what he was creeping on about before, like, oh, okay. He's got a lot
There
of
was a
levels,
point at
but-
which I figured out his deal and it turned out to be correct, but I kind of didn't mind because I was then intrigued to see how they were going to reveal what his deal was. But yeah, I don't recommend it, but I also don't not recommend it, is my very non-committal takeaway from it.
Yeah,
I think this guy's got interesting stuff in his future.
okay. I think
He just needs to be careful.
I think me personally, I'm going to throw it on my list of like try to catch up with it before the end of the year. But if you don't, we're not going to cry about it.
I have a feeling you'll like it. I'd say it's worth checking out on that list.
Yeah, I mean,
If nothing else, it will make you laugh. Like, it's very funny
Okay.
in places.
okay, cool. And I do like Dave Franco's haircut in it because I have bad taste. But anyway, so the topic of dream sequences that annoy me brings me to my pick for the roundtable. I think dream sequences are the worst things that can happen in a horror movie that isn't an Elm Street movie where dreams can actually kill you and do have stakes. Because dream sequences are ways for horror filmmakers to shoehorn in good scares that then the characters never have to react to or deal with the consequences of. And that really, really annoys me. And there is one of those maybe two, in Weapons, the new Zach Kreger movie. It's his follow-up to Barbarian, which was his kind of bursting onto the horror scene, certainly, is him kind of doing the Jordan Peele thing of, I used to do comedy, and now I'm, the horror auteur. I do prefer Barbarian, but I thought Weapons was a pretty solid, not quite sophomore feature, but at least sophomore horror feature. For those who have not seen the trailer, I'm not going to spoil basically anything outside of the trailer or the first 15 minutes. I don't think it's absolutely necessary that I bother, but Zach Kreger movies are very plotty, and I don't want to ruin that for anybody. But the premise is that Julia Garner plays an elementary school teacher. She has 18 students in her class, and one morning she has one student in her class because 17 of them have run off into the night and disappeared.
And she immediately throws a party.
Not quite. But yeah, so it's kind of about the small town that she lives in, the chaos that has been thrown into by this mass child disappearance, the paranoia, and her both trying to cope with that and maybe trying to figure out what happened and where they went. So I do think that Barbarian unfortunately taught Zach Kreger that the thing that he needs to do is stop the momentum of the movie dead every 20 minutes and start a new story. But once he gets enough threads going and they start to come together, like the second half of the movie I thought was really, really effective. It really got on its wavelength. I think just like with I think Barbarian, he maybe switched between scenes that were really funny and scenes that were really scary. And I think in Weapons, he manages to get a lot of scenes that are exactly both, which is really, really hard to do. And I really appreciated that. And he once again displays he knows exactly what to do in terms of domestic fears. You don't want to go in a Zach Kreger basement. You don't want to open a Zach Kreger door. Like the idea,
you don't even want to look at a Zach Kreger door in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea of the spooky, scary things that happen when you're home alone at night, he's really, really good at that. And he has continued to be good at that. And I think this is a very well-handled film tonally. Narratively, I was a little frustrated with, but I'm a little biased against narratives that are segmented in general, so maybe that's more of a me thing. But Caleb, seems like you saw it. What do you think?
I had the same feeling of like the second half, or I guess the last act, is tighter, sharper, funnier in a lot. That's where all the best laugh out loud comedy and some really cool, gross, effective horror scenes and some really scary stuff happens in the second half. But I was frustrated that the first half set up all these interesting tensions and character and social problems with the teachers. Sorry, you just said her name, Julia Garner's teacher, being this entire society turning against her, effectively going on a witch hunt that is evoking stuff from early satanic panic in the California schools, where all that went exploded out into the nationwide phenomenon it became. All and her terror, her isolation, her increasing desperation, and then as she is starting to lose it a little bit, maybe going after the kids for explanations on her own right. All that stuff was really interesting, if a little bit slow at times, a little bit dragged out, and the dynamics with Josh Brolin at the PTA. But I feel like a lot of that, the moment things take a really sharp turn, without saying what that turn is, people know there will be one, I think, at this point, because it's Zach Kreger. A lot of that just goes out the window, and it becomes really effective horror comedy that I didn't think had much in the way of it didn't deal with any of those threads that it had really established in those parts of the first half. Not in a way that I found that I got what I wanted out of it by the end, but it left me laughing. So that's a good high note.
Yeah, I think that's something that's quite common in the horror genre, is that once the genre elements really come to focus, we throw everything about character and story away. So that's something that bothered me a little less, but yes, it certainly is. It does peter out on that front. But also, okay, one more thing I will say. So, I mean, just on a purely I guess prurient level, I have the biggest crush on Alden Ehrenreich, and he plays a super shitty character in this movie, but he looks great while he's doing it, and that was nice for me.
Oh, that's a good character. Terrible, terrible good character. Yeah.
It's a good role for him. It's really, really just like Ryan Gosling, he is at his best when he's playing a total loser. And I appreciate that. Anyway, we can move on to Brian's roundtable pick. What are you bringing for us today, Brian?
Well, I watched a commercial for hard cider.
Good choice.
Okay.
That happened to have Jason Voorhees wrapped into it. This
Yes.
is the just released on, and oh, this makes me so mad to even say this, Thursday the 13th of August.
They tried.
It was a Friday the 13th just 2 months ago, but on Thursday the 13th, they released Sweet Revenge, which is the first project from the new Jason universe.
Hold for vomit.
Is that like Steven Universe? But
I think it's more like Marvel Cinematic Universe.
They'd like it
but
to
for
be.
Jason
Please.
Voorhees.
Please unsay that.
Yeah, I wish I could do that backwards talking thing from Twin Peaks. But no, it is about 15-minute short. It was
Actually,
released on YouTube.
without credits, it's 13 minutes.
It's about a 15-minute short on YouTube, free, that is co-financed by a hard cider company.
Angry Orchard.
I was just not going to say their name because they didn't pay me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yes, but it's...
But I am angry at their orchard, and it will come up.
Yes. And it has enough product placement for this hard cider to be
About
distracting.
13 minutes of product placement.
There's not much of a story because it's 15 minutes and the last third or more of it is Jason killing people. There are some,
well, that's good.
There are some fun kills in it, I guess.
That are not executed well, but they're good in theory.
Yeah, and one, it's free on YouTube, so there's only so far they could go with gore. It has a stupid as fuck twist ending that I won't spoil because I guess I won't spoil it. I don't know. Anybody else want some hard cider? That's about all I got from this. Brennan,
Okay.
I know you watched it.
I did. So this is the first, in Dick Finger's official Friday the 13th property since 2009, so I had to watch it. Although I don't think they can legally use the name Friday the 13th because they are only saying Jason and other titles of things. This was born from Victor Miller winning the legal battle to retain the rights to the original screenplay. So they can play with Jason and Mrs. Voorhees as characters. I don't know how much they can engage with what happens in the franchise as a whole.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer. But yeah, the idea that like somebody can make a movie with Jason in it again is a very exciting prospect. Unfortunately, they started with this one. It is it's kind of like In a Violent Nature if it was not already, and it's kind of like the movie that In a Violent Nature is happening around, like of just like a bunch of young people are being annoying in an isolated cabin.
So it's a Friday the 13th movie. Got it.
No, it is a 2025 pretend Friday the 13th movie with even flatter characters and that are even older than the actors are even older than the characters that they're playing. One of the guys who's playing like the sexy fiance who's kind of two-timing his girlfriend is active. He's literally 43 years old. I looked it up. And his haircut is a good 15 years old because he has this like top knot man bun thing that I have not seen in a really long time.
Yeah, that was
How old is he
something.
supposed to be?
I was max
Early
late 20s. Yeah.
They appear to be in their 20s. They're old enough to drink hard cider.
Yeah.
I would call it a fan film that happens to be professional. But I own the Never Hike Alone movies, and they're all better than this.
I just watched Never Hike Alone for the first time because I'm allergic to fan films, so I don't watch them. I did watch that ahead of this Friday the 13th convention that I went to because some of the people from it were going to be there, and I was like, fuck it, why not? That movie is fine.
It's not a masterpiece, but it's better than this.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't feel like a fan film because it doesn't feel like they're fans of Friday the 13th. Not that a filmmaker has to be to make a Friday the 13th movie. And look, I don't demand fan service. I think fan service is usually super dumb and bad. Like the "get away from her, you bitch" line from Alien Romulus is one of the worst things about Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
But I would hope for a piece like this to recognizably exist within the franchise. And yes, it has Jason killing people. It does have Jason bursting out of a lake. But it just doesn't feel right. It's also
it has a lot of things like, oh, that did that, and that, whichever Jason movie. Like, there's pull somebody out of from you into the lake. There's throwing somebody through a window into the house. All of it feels more going through the motions than actually making a Jason Voorhees story of any sort.
Yeah, and certainly this is not a Jason Voorhees story. This is a bad story with Jason Voorhees in it. And I know what I'm saying sounds like a review of any Friday the 13th movie, but the levels to which this is scraping the bottom of the barrel.
It's hard to explain how it's bad in a different way. The Friday the 13th movies are bad.
Yeah, it's a modern kind of too slick, too shiny nonsense. The plot is
Gotcha.
The plot is either incomprehensible or I completely understand it and it's stupid. But there's no winning.
Yeah, I'm actually with you on that because, especially like I said, I don't want to spoil the ending because it is a bit of a twist ending.
It's pretty obvious from the title and also the first minute, but yeah, we won't spoil it.
But if I understand what led up to that scene right, then Brennan's correct. This movie is stupid as hell. And if I don't understand it, then they made a 13-minute Jason Voorhees short that is not understandable. And I'm not sure which is worse.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. And also because it is funded by Angry Orchard, there's a lot of apple stuff going on too. Like there's the idea that there might be an apple orchard around this lake in New Jersey.
It's Camp Crystal Lake is now an apple orchard, I guess.
Yeah.
Please tell me that the title doesn't have anything to do with apples or hard cider. I need to hear that.
It doesn't.
Okay.
I'm sure the sweet came from a meeting with Angry Orchard where they were like, "It's sweet, put it in the title."
No.
But it's not
But
directly.
it doesn't tie into it.
Immediately
Okay.
when I hear everything you're saying about the product placement and the apple orchard stuff, I'm like, okay, well, I can see a really good opening credit sequence where you're watching like an apple processing.
You don't
like
get
like the crushing and the squeezing of the juice out and all that.
You got to watch Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon to get any good slasher movie apple content.
And they couldn't afford to actually put an apple orchard in it. It's more of an implied apple orchard.
They couldn't afford
Wait,
to
what?
go to like anywhere in northern New Jersey.
He has a bucket of
Doesn't Angry
apples.
Orchard have apple orchards?
No, the old guy who owns the property now, who owns what used to be Camp Crystal Lake, at one point holds up a bucket full of apples. Says, "Want an apple? Fresh picked." It's like, from where?
Yeah.
Not a damn apple tree in this whole short.
And the woman who is the main character, and she takes a bite from the apple. Wouldn't you know it? Her name is Eve. It has nothing to do with anything. It's the stupidest
Stop.
half metaphor. Anyway, it's really outrageously bad. There's like a basic level of like, okay, this is a 13-minute slasher short film. People kind of die. It's like fine, but it is just deeply upsetting.
So bad. It's like,
I'm sort of excited to go and watch this now.
I've watched it twice already, so
Oh God,
it is so bad.
I will probably never watch it again. It's burned into my memory. I try not to be an angry fan. I like Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday. You know, like I can allow for things to take a bit of a left turn, but it's just nothing. And the idea that this is what they thought anybody wanted after 16 years was just such a mistake.
It has been 16 years. And Jason Voorhees' glorious return to the screen is a short on YouTube to sell hard cider.
It's like those shitty commercials
Jason-
like where they bring back E.T. or whatever. I mean, it literally is.
Exactly, except longer.
Jason Goes to Hell is also like really consistently hilarious and stupid,
Yeah.
in addition to
Oh.
being a, I think, somewhat well put together movie,
Yeah.
especially for a Friday the 13th movie.
It might be
And
the best acted movie in the whole franchise.
that's
Which is
very
a low
possible.
bar, but
Still. No, I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. I think we desperately have to move on, but I will say at this convention that I went to, I got a picture of Creighton Duke signed by Stephen Williams from Jason Goes to Hell. It's
Awesome.
it is going to be a prized possession of mine.
Beautiful.
But yes, we should move on because we have a whole ass September preview to do. So we should get
Do we have
cooking.
to?
Do we? Is it a whole ass, Brennan? Would you describe it as a full ass?
Depending on what you mean, on the half-ass spectrum, it's like a quarter to an eighth, maybe. But on like what's this month smelling like, it's like 100%.
Okay.
But yeah, should we get cracking into what we're looking at this month?
Oh.
I suppose.
Mhm.
So, we're gonna start with all the wide releases, and then at the end, we'll sift through the crumbs and try and pick out something that looks delicious from the limited or
We'll reach
streaming
into the
releases.
together hole.
Oh my goodness, yeah. September 5th, we've only got one big one coming. It is The Conjuring: Last Rites. At least it is trying to be the final chapter in at least the Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga like Conjuring franchise. I'm sure they're going to make another Nun movie at some point.
I was going to say, no, it's not. They'll make another 10
Yeah.
films before somebody dies and they have to be done.
Yeah.
And they've announced their last chapter before, right? For these same characters? Am I imagining that from old trailers 8 years ago?
I don't think that that's happened, but it is entirely possible.
Maybe I was just wishing it into existence.
I will say I feel better about going to Conjuring movies now that I know none of the money is going to the con artists that they're based on.
Oh, you mean now that they're dead?
Yes, exactly. Putting it nicely. But yes,
Yeah.
now that Elizabeth will.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Lorraine, thank you. Lorraine, well, Ed's been dead since before the first movie.
Yeah.
These movies have to be one of the great PR coups in grifter history, right? Like
Yeah.
the legacy cementing. Like-
These people, I mean, because also Amityville Horror is based off,
right.
which they can't do in the Conjuring universe because they don't own the rights to that story.
Well,
But-
they recreated it in the opening of Conjuring 2, but they haven't done
Yeah,
like a whole thing about it, and they kind of implied some stuff.
Yeah, it's like they danced as close to the line, I think, as they could legally in Conjuring 2. Which I really like the first Conjuring. I think it's a good, creepy ass movie. I thought the second one was pretty decent. They made a third one as well. And now they've made a fourth one, and
And how many Annabelles and La Lloronas and however
3
many other-
Annabelles, 2 nuns, and then there's the Curse of La Llorona, which Brennan is an expert on that particular section of movies.
I am, and I can tell you that movie is dumb as fuck. But Linda Cardellini's great.
What? I feel like I'm forgetting something else that was in it.
I don't think so. They tried to make a bunch of spin-offs.
There's that one movie that the director of one of them made that has one of the characters in it, but is otherwise not connected. And I can't think of what movie it is.
The Crooked Man?
No, that movie never got made.
Oh, okay.
Thank God for that, because that was a terrible idea. I think you're thinking of The Curse of La Llorona, because that has like Father Perez in it.
No, just give me
Yeah, okay.
a
Sorry.
second. Somebody vamp about this movie.
I will handle that really quick. I will just say that for some reason they have handed the keys of this franchise over to Michael Chavez, who directed The Curse of La Llorona. He directed The Nun 2. He directed The Conjuring 3. Those movies are bad.
Yes.
And they just keep letting him do this. Maybe it's because he's the only one who wants to. I don't know. But he has gotten his greasy little fingerprints all over every corner of this universe.
Did those movies all make large amounts of money? Because that may have something to do with it.
The Nun 2 did. Conjuring 3 was one of those like half HBO Max releases from 2021, so I have no idea if that movie made money.
Oh, it still did. It managed to make $206.4 million,
Oh,
apparently.
okay. Well then,
Despite that.
yeah, sure.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
So, the guy who directed Annabelle made a movie called Wolves at the Door, which is kind of a take on the Manson family murders.
Mm.
But the Detective Clarkin from Annabelle
Oh,
shows
God.
up in it. So it's not
Cool.
officially part of the franchise, but that's the movie I was thinking of.
Got it.
It
So it's
has,
not like Annabelle shows up.
No,
Okay,
it's
interesting.
just a cop.
an impressive 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. You don't see that too often.
Wow.
Shit.
I have not seen that movie, but
For Wolves at the
For
Door?
Wolves at the Door.
Wolves at the Door.
Wow.
That's a rough time. But yeah,
Apparently
no.
it is deeply tasteless in its depiction of the Tate murders, which
Oh.
I don't know if there's another way that could be.
Yeah, it's hard to be more tasteless in a world where, I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is pretty tasteless, but then there's also that Hilary Duff movie, The Haunting of Sharon Tate. Like, that exists.
Yeah.
But anyway, this movie, Caleb and Mandy, do we care about this at all? Conjuring 4? No?
Much of this franchise, especially now that I know for sure that it made money, makes me feel like Polly and Kale insisting that she didn't know anybody who voted for Nixon. I will watch it in several months when I see it on streaming and I have a lot of laundry to fold.
Yeah. No, look, I will watch it in theaters. I am tremendously dedicated to franchises that I get to watch in theaters because there's so many of my favorite horror franchises I was not born when they came out, or I was a baby and missed them. So like I will watch every Purge movie, every Conjuring movie, because those are the ones that are like mine, even though they get worse and worse.
I'm sorry.
But let's
Kind of how franchises often work, especially in horror,
yeah.
because being out of ideas doesn't stop people from making more.
You ride that dead horse until the money stops coming in.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of a horror horse that has been ridden to the sunset and back, Stephen King, the following weekend on September 12th, we're going to get an adaptation of his novel, The Long Walk, published under the
Yes!
Richard Bachman pseudonym. Mandy, tell us about your excitement.
Randy, go
about
first.
Oh
Go first.
God, I'm trying so hard not to get my hopes too high. So hard, and it's not working.
this.
Because I've really liked both of the trailers, both of which I have watched several times at this point.
Okay, it's a good start.
Because that seems to be one of my new, like, I need a quick little 2.5 minute pick me up. Let's go watch one of the Long Walk trailers again.
Oh.
Kind of things. This is probably my favorite Stephen King. This is one of those books that I have read this book literally dozens of times.
Hell yeah.
And it is a book that, even though I have read it dozens of times, I continue to notice new things in it every time I read it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say the film adaptation of this has been in the works, in giant quotation marks, since about 1925 at this point. Because at one point, like, Frank Darabont had the rights, and then he let them lapse, and then somebody else picked up the rights, and then they lapsed, and then there was a director attached to it, and then that went away for a while, and then finally Francis Lawrence was attached to it, and I was like, it's still not going to get made. And then lo and behold, it went into production, and it was like, can it be? Is it really going to happen this time?
Which it startles me that we were talking about how strange it is it took all these decades when it is it's a lean, mean, effective little machine of a novel, and it seems like it should be so cheap to film. All you need are a bunch of kids and some countryside roads and a few...
That might be what scared people away from it, though, is just like, how can I just film a bunch of boys walking?
Yeah, I mean, it's
So I guess we're gonna find out.
the book is it's an interior book. It's about
It is.
character. It's about worldview. So that's probably a little challenging. But yeah, no, it's especially in the wake of the Hunger Games. It's kind of shocking that it took this long for this movie to get made. And of course, they did get the director from all of the Hunger Games movies except the first one.
Yeah. Which, honestly, when I read The Hunger Games, as much as it's a battle royal knockoff, the book I kept thinking about as I read it was The Long Walk. I was like, oh, this reminds me so much of The Long Walk. And then it's like, it's finally becoming a movie, which, to Mandy's point, George A. Romero was attached to direct this in 1988.
Holy shit.
Frank Darabont in 2007, and at least 2 or 3 other directors have been attached to it before we finally got to this point, too.
I mean, in the 100-year history, I think D.W. Griffith was attached at some point, too.
At some point, yeah.
I
Maybe
was
Dalton
really
Trumbo
holding out
wrote a
hope.
script.
Yeah, the F.W. Murnau one had me very excited for a while there.
But
Right?
like, this is probably my second most anticipated movie for the rest of the year. I love this book. I love the Bachman books, minus the Rage, which has been deleted from the Bachman books now, so look at that. Now it's a better book. I love The Long Walk. I am so excited for this movie. I joked in our group chat that this was going to be a fight between me and Mandy for who was more excited about this movie.
Why do we have to fight? Why can't we just bask in it?
Just join hands
We can
and
all
cheer.
Yeah. The Long Walk is intended to bring the nation together to enjoy
The Long
yeah.
Walk.
Yeah,
The national
dominance
pastime.
of the human spirit, and
It's there to inspire ordinary people.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I too am excited about this. I really liked that book, but I read it in junior high and I've not read it since, so I don't have a very strong memory of it.
It's a very different experience reading reading it as an adult and reading it as a kid.
Oh,
I
I
did
bet.
both.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I last read it last year, maybe the year before. It's not been too long since.
Yeah.
And I've probably not as often as Mandy, but I have probably read it at least a half a dozen times. So,
Got it. Well, I
fantastic book.
from the Stephen King rereads I have done, I do trust younger me's opinions, so I am excited to see an adaptation, but I won't be nitpicking like, oh, this was different in the book, because I don't fucking remember.
I am interested. I think that's the best word for it. Interested in the casting choices.
Yeah, that's something that I'm very curious about. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Francis Lawrence is directing this movie. He's a bit of a workman director. But a lot of those Hunger Games movies are pretty good, and he tends to be very good at casting those adult roles. And especially in that Hunger Games prequel, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, he really just lets Viola Davis open up and chew the scenery in a way that I found really beneficial to that movie. So I'm hoping we get something like that out of Mark Hamill as the villainous military character in this movie.
I have no doubt that Mark Hamill's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be great.
That is inspired casting.
not at all
Mark
who I
Hamill
ever
in
would
that
have
role.
pictured for the major
Me
by
either,
any
yeah.
stretch, but it does. But I am excited about it. Yeah, it's like having just finished the book again yesterday too. I'm starting to believe that like a common thread of a lot of the best Stephen King books, or at least my favorite of the Stephen King ones, is his capacity to have an enormous cast of not necessarily deep by any means, often very shallow, but well-defined and memorable characters, like who are a type in a very specific way. And there's 100 of them in this book. I mean, he doesn't detail
Yes.
all 100 of the kids, but the ones that do like come in and out of the main character, Ray Garrity's perspective, they're each so distinct in a way that part feels like maybe the most filmable element to me. They're all larger than life, but very lifelike in their own way.
I'm reading. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, which was actually, to throw back to you, was I think something that with Salem's Lot, which I believed you had finished recently, is one of my favorite things about that story. Like the town just comes to life in all these characters who may just come in for one scene, 2 scenes, but steal the show when they do.
I'm reading Christine right now. I finished Salem's Lot and I picked up Christine. And I'm also realizing that Stephen King is just really good at writing teenagers and teenage boys in particular.
Yeah.
Because Christine and The Long Walk are both kind of teenage boy hangout novels that are also horrifying. The cast does appear to be a little bit of like an old folks' home of teenagers. Like,
Just
Love
as if
David
it were made
movies.
in the 80s. Yeah.
yes, like I haven't seen much of David Johnson. He was one of the better parts that I recall of Alien Romulus, right?
Yeah,
he was in that Alien movie. Yeah, he is like my age,
Oh. I mean, he does look
or at the very least, I know he is older than Brennan.
he does look not like a teenager. And yeah, for the record, I did just turn 31, so that's probably not. I don't think I would cast me as a teenager.
No,
You shave.
I don't know about that. But we do have Charlie Plummer. He was really good and spontaneous. I'm excited to have him have another role. It's a pretty solid cast. Isn't Tefero Wunatai from Reservation Dogs in it too? I think he is.
that sounds right.
I'm-
I've only seen Cooper Hoffman, who's playing Garrity, in one other thing that I remember, which was Licorice Pizza, which I hated, but it still feels like a good casting choice.
Yeah, but I feel like Licorice Pizza's problems maybe were not limited to the casting.
No, Licorice Pizza's problems for me had very little to do with the casting and everything to do with the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm totally misremembering. Deferri Wunatai is not in this. But Roman Griffin Davis
Okay.
from Jojo Rabbit, Ben Wang from that new Karate Kid movie. Congrats to him. Yeah, a lot of interesting people. And Judy Greer is in it. But yeah, let's move on to another movie from that weekend.
Do we have to? Can we just make the rest of this about the long walk?
I know I'm trying not to make it that. If we have time at the end, maybe we'll talk about it again.
That
Yes?
basically wraps up the movies I was interested in this month.
Okay, so maybe this will be
Not
quick
true.
because
There's one other one, but
I'm excited to find out what it is. And is it Downton Abbey, the grand finale?
it is not.
Okay.
I've not watched the show. I've not watched the other movie. I have no frame of reference for Downton Abbey except stuffy British people.
Yeah, so I will say I've seen one half of one episode of Downton Abbey, but I have seen the first two movies. Don't know why.
Oh, this is the third movie.
This is the third movie.
I thought it was the second one, so that shows how in tune I am.
I will be seeing this because I've got to complete the set of these movies that I've seen with absolutely no context for who any of these people are. But they did, spoiler alert, in the previous one, they killed off Maggie Smith's character, just in time. They kind of knew it was coming. But without her, I'm just like, what the fuck do they even have? But I guess I'll report back. Moving on, another sequel. We've got Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. This couldn't possibly be good, right? I haven't seen the trailer, but right?
I'm tired.
I don't know. I feel like if you're like of all the movies to make long belated sequels to, a cast reunion tour for Spinal Tap 2 could be really funny. I don't know if Rob Reiner has it in him anymore, but like conceptually, I'm more down for this than most legacy sequels.
Yes.
Necessarily.
Maybe I can imagine a universe where this is funny. Like I'm running through the possible jokes in my mind about like elderly, decrepit rock musicians attempting yet again to relive their glory days, plus a lot of meta jokes about the fact that it's a legacy sequel, because I'm sure that it will have those.
Well,
I just can't get over the hump of not wanting this.
I'm sure there will be jokes that are funny.
it's written by Christopher Guest, so
Right.
there has
There's
to be,
too
right?
much talent, both on screen and behind the camera, for there to be nothing that's not funny.
But Christopher Guest also made Mascots. Like he
I
has
haven't seen
he has his moments where he does not shine.
But I
didn't hate Mascots.
I have my significant doubts that it's going to cohere into a movie that I think is funny. And also, it's like, I love heavy metal. This is the year 2025. Heavy metal is dead as a popular form of music. It is a mix of very old bands and young bands that nobody listens to except metalheads. There is no vibrant heavy metal scene in mainstream culture in 2025 the way there was in, what year did the first one tap come out? 85, 84? Something like that. When heavy metal was like the best-selling genre of music in the world. I don't see the point in doing this now. And also, technically, it's the third Spinal Tap movie, goddammit.
Oh, is it?
There was a straight-to-video movie in like 1990-something.
Really? Oh, I didn't know about that.
Completely memory hold.
Okay. Straight-to-video movies tend to. It's easy to do that with them. What I will say is look, frankly, I've never seen the first Spinal Tap. I've never really cared that much. I've seen.
Honestly, I don't think you would like it.
Yeah, I got that sense. I've seen that this goes to 11 scene. I get it. But I feel like when people resurrect cult movies, it tends to go a little worse than when they resurrect cult TV. Like, I can name off the top of my head several cult TV shows that have come back and been good, including The Comeback, Party Down, Twin Peaks. But how often does this happen when a movie has a cult following and then they make a sequel to it? How often is that actually something that's worth watching? Not as often.
Spinal Tap is also I must admit now also that I have seen Spinal Tap and I don't love it.
Mm.
That probably could have gone on my old list of movies everybody loves that I don't. It's one of those that I think has like 4 really good jokes in it that everybody remembers, and then there's a movie surrounding those 4 really good jokes.
Mm.
I might go a little higher than
Oh, I
4,
don't-
but I don't disagree with the principle there.
My lowest vision of this Legacy sequel, and unfortunately, I think a very possible vision of this Legacy sequel, is that it's basically going to be a different spin on those 4 jokes yet again.
Probably.
Now
They're gonna.
it goes to 12.
Yes, I was gonna say someone's gonna have to say this goes to blank at some point in this movie. It's just not gonna not happen.
I think there are quite a few jokes that maybe don't even register as its own now that the mockumentary is such a huge form and it's had so many decades of other mockumentaries and entire TV shows around it. Like, there really wasn't much before Spinal Tap, right? And for me, that feels like the foundational mockumentary and getting like the subtle humor of the camera jokes and all that. Yeah, in a way that by the time of The Office, it was just so mainstream and ubiquitous that became...
And frequently, important foundational things are not actually that great when we watch them many years later.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see Spinal Tap for the first time till like 3-4 years ago, finally, because I had kind of like dragged my feet around. I have to watch it at some point, but I'm not a big metalhead. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was consistently funny, so I'm hopeful.
Okay.
Good. We'll have a mixed approach. That's probably the best we can get for a lot of these titles.
Yeah.
Including, speaking of, September 19th. Let's start with Him, the new kind of like wanna do football really bad kind of cult leader horror movie with Marlon Wayans. Or it is Marlon Wayans, right? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, what was that, Caleb?
I'm not coming in mixed for this one. I am psyched for this one.
Okay.
These trailers I knew nothing about this movie prior to the trailers. I think it had the best trailer of 2024.
I'm intrigued by this one. Yeah, also because of the trailers. Same situation. I had never heard of it until I saw a trailer for it.
Okay. And like I am excited for, like, when I think Marlon Wayans can do these kind of genre bending roles quite well. Or like step out of what I mean by that is like step out of his comedy zone and like really kind of nail a role like this, and that could be really interesting for him. This makes me nervous. Like the same thing that you brought up with Together. It's like when other people try to make Jordan Peele movies, it does not tend to go very well.
100%.
And this is at least being advertised very much like a Jordan Peele movie. Maybe it's just because it stars black people, but they want us to be thinking about Jordan Peele a
Well,
lot.
he's a producer.
His name comes up, and
he's a producer on the movie too. So
right.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, to the point where his name comes in such high billing that the first time I saw the trailer, I thought he was directing until I realized that
I had this like I didn't know Jordan Peele had a new movie. Oh, he doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
But
of course, yeah.
It's got this edged, manic energy, this raw sexuality, this like horror of unbridled masculinity that I was fully there for in the things that they were showing me image-wise, and it's a very beautifully cut trailer. And I could fall into the trap of trailer's not a movie; it's a short film of its own. Somebody else made this thing. But if the movie keeps that energy going with any consistency, that like head slam into the tile and the shower energy, I don't know. There's something there.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. This is one of those ones like I'm gonna go see it. I think I agree. I think there could be something. Like I did not go see Antebellum, for instance.
Oh my God, I forgot
you
that
go
it
see the
existed.
Black Christmas remake.
Oh God,
I
say
did.
that.
That's not the same director, right? You got me panicked for a minute here.
No, just we were thinking of think piece horror movies that did not get us the same level of intrigue.
But I get nervous because like a lot of Jordan Peele's producerial efforts not great, and I was saying, other people can't really do Jordan Peele, and at this point Jordan Peele can barely do Jordan Peele.
Hey, Nope was really good. What?
I
Nope
completely
was a really
disagree.
good last 40 minutes.
I hated Nope. I did not like it at all.
I thought the first hour and a half or so of that movie was bad, and then the last
it needs some cuts.
like the entire first hour and a half. Yeah, just cut it. Start with the scene with the chimp, and you have a great movie.
Yeah, and you can't have like one of the best movie monsters in the past decade, I think, and not get some love for that probably. And
That is true, but it doesn't have one of those, which is confusing to me.
Well, wait, are we counting? Wait,
I'm not talking about the chimp, though. The chimp
The
is good.
chimp is one of the great movie monsters of the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The alien thing, not so much.
What? Oh, it's
It's
so
fine.
good. It's so good.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to completely dump on. I'm very glad that you like Nope, and there are a lot of reasons to like Nope. I just did not find them in my heart.
It's okay. I was on the other side of this with Us, which I had extremely mixed
really?
feelings
Ooh.
about. Yeah,
I knew
Us
it.
is another movie where I'm like, there's half of this I love, and the other half is driving me nuts. And
the stuff that's underground.
No, Us was like it fixed everything that I didn't like about Get Out and kept all the things that I did like about Get
I
Out.
think Get Out's still my favorite of his movies, honestly.
wow, we got the full gamut here.
So,
Yeah, I'm with you, Brian. I think Us is a much surer directorial feature. It looks better. The acting is more interesting, but the story is a mess. And then
I like that the story is a mess. I think that Get Out's precision is going to hurt it many years down the line.
that could be true. And I think Nope is just imprecise in general. And I found it to be very, very poorly shot. I thought it was way too dark. I couldn't see anything in that movie. Anyway, we're not talking about Nope. We were talking about him, which
Why not?
does look like, I mean,
Could be good.
Yeah, well, we'll see this one. I'm hopeful again, but
Yeah.
much
I'm
more hopeful.
intrigued.
Of the various non-The Long Walk horror movies coming out this month, it looks more promising than the others.
we'll certainly be talking about more. So,
I'm intrigued at this idea of what appears to be like sports horror.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know that I can name another sports horror movie.
which is strange because sports are terrifying, and the things they do to your
Yes.
body are just horror in themselves. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
somebody is really filling a niche that needs to be filled here.
Yeah, certainly like,
Closest-
Mhm.
The closest thing I can think of it is not horror. It is Teen Wolf playing basketball.
I mean, and there is
That
like,
usually is a horror type character, but in a comedy.
yeah, there's got to be something that we're missing. I mean, I think there is a movie. It's not a big movie. It's called Fatal Games. It's about like Olympic hopefuls. It is not good. But yeah, I agree. This
Unless
is
we
a
count-
what?
If we count hunting, then there's all the various deadliest game.
I don't know about that.
yeah, and if
There are
if
dancing horror movies.
Mhm.
Oh,
There are
yeah.
multiple dancing horror
Yeah.
movies. There's
And there should
Suspiria,
be
there's
more.
Black Swan.
Not
No,
And
I,
this feels like the male equivalent
Yeah,
of
but not like
that that
competitive
nobody has done.
head-to-head sports like this. Yeah. I can't think
yeah.
of
Okay,
things like that.
you've convinced me.
Intriguing, at
I was
least.
always gonna see this, but now I'm more excited about that fact. But we should move on to A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey.
so less exciting things.
Colin
Terrible
Farrell.
title.
It's based on a book that also has that terrible title. Colin
Is this
Farrell.
is it so, sorry?
What?
I keep interrupting you. Go ahead, Brennan. Sorry.
Okay, Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie open magical doors that take them on some sort of magical, big, bold, beautiful journey through their pasts, and they learn about stuff, and they fall in love, and it looks like treacly bullshit. What were you saying, Caleb?
If this were a parody of the not YA but YA adjacent adult treacly bullshit airport novel,
Yeah,
would it
high
look
concept fantasy light airport novel.
yes, with a sort romantic element, the tying everything together and the power of love, presumably moving the universe. Like, would a parody look any different from this as a trailer
Yeah,
concept?
it wouldn't be 140 minutes.
Oh, sure.
It's 140
sure.
minutes. I didn't even
It's
Be-
140
What?
minutes. I just looked it up.
Yeah, a parody
Oh,
would
that's-
cut at least a half hour of that. Yeah,
That sounds so excruciating. This looks.
this looks terrible. Just
Yeah, no,
absolutely
It's going to win
terrible.
17 Oscars.
Oof.
Actually, I'm having the same feelings about it that I did when the trailers for The Life of Chuck. From,
Oh yeah,
like,
speaking of twee bullshit, that I
Right, which-
actually did kind of dig in parts.
Did you?
which,
I didn't see it. I remember it got all sorts of buzz coming out of festivals, and then I saw the trailer and went, "Holy fuck! I think it gave me a cavity."
Yeah.
It
Oh.
is. Sorry, Brennan.
No, you go, Caleb, and then I will undercut anything nice that you say, as tends to be what's going on in this episode.
Oh, sure. But Life of Chuck was almost going to be my worth mentioning, keeping on the Stephen King theme, since he has had, he never leaves pop culture, but the fact that there are 4 major Stephen King movies within a year of each other here with the Running Man's about to come out again, and we had the Monkey earlier this year. Inescapable. But Life of Chuck, it's got like the best and worst elements of Mike Flanagan in it. It's almost like an encapsulation of, I think, what his strengths and weaknesses are, and it is the outer limit of the twee and treacly that I can tolerate. And it partly because it still manages to be dark and terrifying in the places where the Stephen King story was, and it's not as hard-edged as that, but it kind of gets back to there. Its conclusion is not as pat and sweet as parts of it would lead you up to be. And it is still a story about existential terror, the dread of the void, and the inevitability of death, and of a universe that will keep moving on without us the moment that we die, as if we were never here and did not matter. It's still got that in it. But The Big Bold Beautiful Journey looks like we are just jettisoning any of that darkness. This is a movie that is trying to be pure sobby sweetness and light, possibly.
There's a weird thing. It's like, you guys remember the movie Yesterday from
the Danny Boyle movie?
Yeah, which has the most insane high concept.
Sure does.
Mm-hmm.
In order to tell a extremely generic rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of feels to me, I don't think this is nearly as amazing of a high concept. This feels like it's the same thing of big fantasy high concept. Here's the same romantic love story you've seen 8 billion times.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess that The Life of Chuck was going to be the better life-affirming kind of story of the year. And I, again, hated The Life of Chuck. I read the novella right before watching the movie, and I was like, oh, that's corny boomer horseshit. Let's see if the movie is any better. Mm-hmm. And no, it's corny boomer horseshit too. Because it's trying to be about this thing of like, even the smallest human life is connected to everybody, and we're all part of this beautiful fabric of the world. But you're only important if you're a straight white man still. But anyway, that was kind of...
And how sad is it that his most crucial memories in life are like random moments with a busker and nothing to do with his kid or any of his
jeez,
family?
It's more of that American Beauty plastic bag crap.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
I have not seen this, but I know for a fact, Caleb, that you have a much higher twee bullshit tolerance than I do, so I will be steering clear.
Yeah, it would shatter the meter.
Yeah, but let's move on again. I think, statistically speaking, we have to be reaching the movie that Brian was talking about that he's maybe excited about. What was that?
We are indeed. I am very intrigued by One Battle After Another.
Yeah, this is September 26th. Tell us about it.
I was
Tell
like,
us about
what is it? I have no idea what this movie's going to be. It's Leonardo DiCaprio as like a former resistance fighter in some conflict, and I don't think the trailers have made clear what conflict or war or what that he was in is. But he's being sucked back in by like his daughter, I think, being kidnapped is what it was implying in the trailer. But it looks to be a simultaneously very goofy comedy and serious spy action war movie of some sort rolled together. And I have no idea if it's going to be good or not, but it looks different. And here in the year 2025, different is very welcome.
Yeah, and this does not have a lot of mileage with me, but it was written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. So if you like him, you know what your mileage is with that.
Been hit or miss on PTA.
I feel... Yeah, I don't know what my mileage is with him. Then he could do There Will Be Blood, one of my favorite movies of its decade. He could do Licorice Pizza, which I didn't even watch because the trailers told me it was a movie I would despise.
Right. Like I said, I have absolutely no idea whether or not I'm going to like One Battle After Another. But
I will say it looks more like There Will Be Blood than Licorice Pizza. Thank God.
Yeah.
It depends which trailer you watch, because I've seen 4 different trailers for this now, and I've been subjected to them about 20 times. So this is one of those movies I feel like I've seen the whole movie in fragments at this point, and they're going for...
Well, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh, so no, I haven't.
Yeah, it's long. But
they can cut as many trailers as they want out of that shit.
But my point just is, it's a movie that I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah, it looks
And
different.
how many movies come out now where you can watch 4 different trailers and be like, it's like 4 different movies.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what it's going to be when you do it. Of course, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes, so it might be 4 movies.
Yeah, that's like 16 Sweet Revenges.
It's going to be better than Sweet Revenge. I'm positive of that.
One can only hope.
We're going to remind you next month that you said that. And we're going to come back to it.
Yeah, but speaking of shitty continuations of horror franchises, the movie closing out the month, also September 26th, is the second in the intended Rennie Harlan The Strangers trilogy, The Strangers Chapter 2. Mandy, you look very excited.
Oh,
Tell me
no,
about
I'm
it.
excited for this one. This
Okay.
is my flavor of dumb.
Oh, look. Me too, although I am nervous. Like the last time they threatened to tell us the origin of the strangers, which you absolutely should not do. And this time they're threatening that same thing. But I am excited for a continuation of the dumb.
I'm holding out that they will again not make good on that threat.
Yes, me too.
So, oddly, I have never watched any of the Strangers movies,
Oh.
which seems extremely out of character for me. But I have
This
seen
feels
none
like
of
your
them.
flavor of dumb, too.
Yeah.
I
mean,
think
Rennie,
you would be into this.
Rennie Harlan has definitely made dumb movies that I like.
Yeah, and you are such a horror and or franchise person. I see your Letterboxd marathons all the time. I'd be curious. I mean, all of the Strangers eras are so different. But I'd be curious what you think about all of them as a whole. But yeah, no, this movie, if it has a similar vibe to Stranger Things or The Strangers Chapter 2, I mean, I'll go see it and I'll have a good time. It's not going to be good, but it'll be a pleasant way to spend a September Eve.
Brennan, this will be quicker to ask you than to look it up. Rennie Harlan
Okay.
directed Nightmare 4, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, not 5. So yes, he has directed a Nightmare movie that's really, really dumb that I like.
Yes.
Not a one that's really, really dumb that I hate.
No, yeah, Dream Child is directed by Stephen Hopkins of Predator
Okay.
2. So yeah, so that's the end of September, and I'm sure we're all very eager to have reached that, and we will be to have reached it in real time as well. But is there anything? We're scrounging around in the limited releases. Is there anything you're looking at that's not one of these other titles that we've talked about that you're excited about, or at least one that you want to talk about? Brian, yeah.
I am, because I like June Squibb,
Mm.
I'm interested to some extent in Eleanor the Great, which also the directorial debut of Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
Which I have no idea what to make of that, because, it's the first time she's done it.
Mm-hmm. I have heard it described to me as the Dear Evan Hansen of the Holocaust.
Oh,
Didn't
no.
somebody say that coming out of Cannes or one of the other film festivals?
Yeah, maybe
Say
it was
something-
maybe it was on this podcast. It might have been. But so I think it's about June Squibb pretending she's a Holocaust survivor to benefit her in some way. But that's a lot.
I didn't get
Yeah.
that from the trailer at all. Huh.
I don't know. This is I cannot 100% confirm this. This is hearsay, but I do also like June Squibb, and Thelma
And it
was
has-
her first lead role, and she's so good.
And
and
it
it's
does
nice
have
that she's getting more.
Chiwetel Ejiofor in it, who I really like. So I'm at least, it's a limited release, so it won't play near me. But that's the only one that really caught my eye. Although I did notice the recurring theme of the limited releases seem to be gay movies this month.
Yeah, it's because it's pre-award season. They're putting out the gay movies that they're like maybe, but we don't believe in them enough to put them out in November.
Yeah, it's like there's so much horror for September instead of waiting for October. And the
That's been happening
releases.
the last couple of
there's-
years.
And
Yeah.
Then we have all of the probably not going to win an Oscar gay movies in the limited releases.
Yeah. But
Those will also be laundry folding movies for me someday.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Caleb, do you have a pick from these smaller releases?
Yeah, I mean the history of sound, I assume, is the gay or Oscar baiting one of the bunch, to the extent that it can try to be for a September release. But that was not the one. For me, it was Twinless that got my attention.
Ooh, okay.
Which starts out the trailer looking like a twee, young adult book premise, which is like support group for people who have lost their twins. And the trailer looks like it then becomes an unexpected gay romance between two of these bereaved twins.
I didn't even realize this was on the list of gay movies of September.
Yeah, very much so in the trailer. But then it looks like it takes two distinct twists, at least in the or turns in the course of the trailer, becoming that sort of unexpected gay romance. And then like sort of that blooming out of YA bromance type thing. But then it might possibly become like a modern guy version of single white female in the less of, maybe? I don't know. But it looks like it takes a dark turn in the trailer implications. So, and all of that has me interested in this one.
Fuck. I'm changing my choice to this one.
Oh, okay. Which was your choice in that case?
My choice was the third gay movie of the month, which is Plain Clothes. I'm very nervous about the fact that it's about a cop whose job is to like honeypot gay men into hooking up with him in a restroom, but he's also secretly gay. And it just seems like all a bunch of bullshit, and it seems really pretentious in the way that it's presented. But it has the two actors that I want to see kiss the most of these movies.
Fair enough.
It's Russell Tovey, who is actually a queer person, and Tom Blythe, who is fresh off that Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the Hunger Games prequel. So yeah, I'd be excited to see them kiss. Because the other one, The History of Sound, that's Josh O'Connor and Paul Mescal.
Yeah. It looks exhausting in the most award season way.
It's a World War I movie, which is always a little bit surprising because it feels like every time somebody wants to make a historic war movie, they immediately go to World War II.
Yeah.
But not for gay poets. You got to go to World War I for that. World War I.
Yeah.
If it's something to do with like recording American music during the war or something, I don't
know about that. But like Paul Mescal lost the fuck out of me with Gladiator 2. I thought he was such a tremendously bad performer in that movie that he needs to win me back, and this movie is not going to be the one. I'm not going to watch it. It's just not going to do it. And Josh O'Connor, like Luca Guadagnino knows what to do with Josh O'Connor, but he can. This is one of those movies where they really want to put stubble on him, and that kind of makes him look like a cough drop that fell into your pocket for a couple days. And that's just not the vibe for me. Anyway, I'm sorry, that was mean, but he just needs to shave, and sometimes people need to, and that's fine.
Did you not like All of Us Strangers then? Paul Mescal's
did not watch it.
Other gay drama.
I like to watch gay people smooching and being happy, and sometimes I have to watch the drama ones just to get anything. But I'm very, very picky about which ones I actually end up seeing. And Andrew Hay almost got me in the door, but it didn't happen for me when that movie was happening. Mandy, do you have a movie pick out of these smaller releases?
If I had one, it would be Eleanor the Great, because it is the shortest movie on this list.
Okay. Get him, Mandy.
These people need to hire better editors, is what I am learning from this list of September releases.
Yeah. I mean, that's the trend right now, and I wish it would stop.
Yes, I want it to stop.
Yeah, no,
it was one thing when it was like action movies kept getting longer. It's like, okay, that's annoying, but at least there's big spectacle. If you make a comedy or a horror film and you stretch over 100 minutes, you fucked up.
That is a separate thing. Like, I don't know, I couldn't pinpoint the runtime bloat of like big blockbusters, but specifically the comedy thing, that is Judd Apatow's fault, and that is Paul Feig's fault. We have only them to blame.
Because they let people ad-lib and ad-lib and ad-lib and don't yell cut.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway, that's fucking September 2025.
Yay!
I've said it before. I am very nervous that this year is going to turn out worse than 2023, which is the worst year for movies in my lifetime. But 2025 is not looking great.
Holding out hope for The Long Walk.
Yeah, The Long Walk, maybe that's it.
The Long Walk, like I said way back when we talked about it, is my second most anticipated movie for the rest of the year. If it isn't good, September looks dire.
Yeah, and I mean, September can be like that. But
True.
Also, the holiday season the last 5 years or so has tended to be rough So I don't know what we've got going on for us at the end of the year. There might be some. Always during award season, something surprising comes up just out of nowhere. Like you learn about it the week it comes out, and you get excited about it. So I'm hoping there's something like that happens.
My most anticipated for the rest of the year is Wicked for Good because I'm stupid.
Oh, and that movie's going to be scaring everything else out of theaters around the holidays, right? Isn't that a Christmas Day release?
I think it's a
No, it's
Thanksgiving.
November. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What is the big Christmas Day one this year?
Oh God,
Avatar.
what did you say? Avatar.
Avatar
Fire.
Oh, right. Oh, I am excited for the holiday season.
I will
in film then.
keep the peace and not talk my opinions on Avatar.
It's okay. I think the reasons for hating it all are totally legitimate. I'm just one of those people who just was like so wowed by the spectacle of Shape of Water that I'll come back for more of that.
I am extremely genuinely happy for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. This should. I think it's very, very good to represent all kinds of film opinions. And I think that is why it is great that I am consistently having the opposite opinion that Caleb does.
Well, we meet on a lot of horror stuff, just not the slasher side of things. But
no, I think that's good. I think that makes for a good panel. But we gotta get out of here. It's been a we've been talking for a while. Caleb, I know you have a game to promote. Where do you want to point people?
Yeah, people can go to letusbuildatower.com for information about a mythic Bronze Age adventure in Babel, the now award-winning, game that I had the pleasure of being on stage at Gen Con a few weeks ago for. Extremely exciting. You can find information about that there and other games I do at sojournrpg.com, if I can speak with any clarity.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Mandy, how about you?
Mostly I'm an alternate ending for things that I write that people might actually want to read, unless for some reason you're interested in medieval Dutch theater.
I am now.
Please don't look up my dissertation. It's a dumpster fire.
Okay. How about you, Brian?
Follow me on Letterboxd. I'm on social media, but I don't post that much.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so you can also find me on most social media at It's Raining Brens. I'm also on Letterboxd. You can find more episodes of this show and others, more reviews of things, all kinds of stuff at alternateending.com, including Mandy's show Your Movie Rocks, which I believe is going to be the next episode chronologically after you hear this one.
I think so.
Yeah, well, keep an ear out for that. Do you know what the title is that you're doing for that one yet? And are you allowed to tell us?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, great. Well, keep an ear out for whatever that is going to be.
I'll tell you that Gavin assigned it.
Oh, God. Okay, it's going to be one of those. But yes, until next time, bye!